Hi, it's Verna from Drayton Valley Library here with Game On Remote Immersion. I just wanted to share with you another game that you can play from a distance. When I was thinking about this type of concept, the game Battleship came to my mind right away because nobody can see anyone else's board, which is great. And if you both have Battleship games in your different locations, the plastic ones with all the little pegs you can put in, that's awesome. But not everybody has that. So I was talking with my mom, and she told me when she was a kid, they always just played this with pencil and paper. And in fact, they played it with more than just two people, and they called it Sink the Ship, not Battleship. So I would like to share with you how to play Sink the Ship. I've created a sort of template here. So the main thing is that you and whoever you're playing with would have the same game board, right? So you're just gonna talk together and agree that, say, your letters are going across the top, your numbers are going down the side for your Battleship or Sink the Ship grid. It's not a rule that you have to have 10. I just chose 10 by 10 because it seemed like a good idea. But as long, again, as you have the same game board. So when you play Sink the Ship and you're placing your ships, we're playing with Mom's rules here. This is how she did it when she was young. So your battleship has 5 squares that it's going to fill in. Your cruiser has 4. Your destroyer has 3 and your submarine has 2. So I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. And then here I just wrote down the basic rules. On your turn, you're going to guess a space. So each player is going to place a battleship, a cruiser, a destroyer, and a submarine somewhere on the game board here. Of course, you can't see their game board. So you are trying to shoot at their ship and sink it. And in order to sink it, if it's a battleship, you're going to have to get all 5 spots on the grid where the battleship is. And once you've hit all 5 of those spots, then you have sunk that battleship. Okay, so on your turn, you are guessing a space. So you're going to say something like A5. That would be right here. And the other person or people have to say whether or not they have something there. Okay, so if you are playing with more than one person, there could be several items or several parts of ships that are here, and everybody has to fess up to it and say that it's been hit if it's been hit. Okay, I guess I kind of did number 2 here. And then you're going to mark that space. Now, in order to not destroy your game board, if you've made a beautiful one like I have, maybe you want to make photocopy. Or I was also thinking, if you have page covers, you can often slip this inside a clear plastic page cover, or say a binder that has a clear pocket on the front. And if you happen to have whiteboard markers, you can use whiteboard markers on there then, and then just erase it after. But you know, it's not too hard to create this grid. Anyways, I will show you an example of what this could look like. So if I was setting up my Sink the Ship board, and I'm going to have it facing my direction just to start with, okay, so that I can write my letters in the proper direction. If I was to place, well, let's start from the beginning. Let's do the battleship. If I was to place a battleship, I'm going to be writing some B's in here, letter B's. So it might be like this. Oh, and yeah, when you play on a plastic board, you can't go diagonally, can you? Because often your little plastic ship won't fit that way. But you can play diagonally when you play Sink the Ship on paper, at least. That's what my mom told me. Okay, we were to place a cruiser. A cruiser is 4 spots. Okay, so it could be something like this. And I'm writing the letter that the ship begins with, just so you know, I know which ship it is. I'm using colors to make it easy for you as well, but colors aren't necessary. You can do this with pencil and paper, no problem. A destroyer is 3. Okay, so I'm going to do destroyer, and that's going to be D, D, D. And if I'm doing a submarine, then it's 2 S's. S, S. And yeah, submarine, I didn't have that marker here today. So showing it the way that makes sense to you, this is what it would look like. I've got my game board set up like this. Okay, so let's say somebody else is calling out a guess here and they say B4. And I look on B4 and there's nothing there. So I am just going to tell them nothing, it's a miss, you didn't get anything. But I'm going to put an X on that spot to show that that spot has been guessed. Someone has shot there and nothing has happened. Okay. Now let's say they're guessing D7. And I look and D7, oh, that's where I have a cruiser. So I have to say, you hit my cruiser, one of my cruisers anyways. So we put an X on that and we know that that has been hit. Now that person, of course, is going to go, I know a cruiser has 4 squares. So they're going to probably start guessing all these ones that are all around the cruiser because they don't know which way it's going. But as they start figuring out, you know, if they get this one, then they might start guessing this direction or this direction. And yeah, that's kind of how that goes. Okay, so let's say I'm making a guess now. And I am guessing, let's say I'm guessing E9, okay? And somebody says, oh, you've got my submarine, okay? So what I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna write an S on this spot for submarine to let me know. And if I want, I can also put a little X in here to remind me that that spot's been hit. And that's one place where the color is kind of nice. So all these ones I have in color, I know those are mine, and this was on someone else's game board. So of course, if I've hit a submarine on my next turn, I'm gonna try guessing some of these spots around here, right? Now, if you're playing with more than one person, or more than 2 people, I should say, if you did E9, and someone else said, that's my submarine, maybe someone else is going, oh, that's my battleship. Okay, so you might also be writing a B in this space. So you know someone had a submarine there, someone had a battleship there. If you wanted to keep track of who it is, you could also put like a first little initial of their name in front of it or something, but it doesn't really matter too much because you're just going to keep on guessing. If it's a submarine, you're only going to be guessing to get 2. And if it's a battleship, you're going to keep guessing more spots around there to try and continue on to the 5. So it can get a little bit complex if there's a lot of people playing, but it's also pretty interesting and maybe more challenging than regular battleship to play Sink the Ship. So one last situation could happen. Let's say, here for a second, let's say I've been playing the game, I've been guessing along, and I discover there's a battleship here, there's a battleship here, and I'm going, okay, battleship has to be 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe I even guessed that one and found out, but I'm kind of reluctant to say this one because it's mine, because if I ask this one, do you have anything on E7? And they say, yes, I have a battleship. Well, I write that down, but I have to fess up too that I have a cruiser there. So obviously then my cruiser is going to be hit. But it could go the other way around. The other person could have figured out there's cruisers, and they know their battleship is there and they're kind of holding off saying anything. But nobody's going to sink anybody's ship unless somebody says something. So that's a little bit of a unique situation that can happen in Sink the Ship as well. So of course the other person would have their version of this game board and they've got their battleships and so on listed. I'm just not showing that right now. So I hope that makes sense and that gives you Another idea that's kind of fun, I play this with my mom over the phone, so you don't need visual at all, right? You just have to be talking to each other and communicating. So there you go, another idea for you. If you want to join us to play any games, we are on Zoom Thursdays at 3 p.m. And you just call the library to get your Zoom privileges set up if you're looking for someone to play a game with. All right, we'll see you then. Maybe if not, have fun playing with whoever you can call up and get to join in.